Hi there and welcome to our Gallop TV preview show for the race meeting on the turf track at Fairview on Friday the 23rd of May. The first of 8 races due for 12.25. We have 2 headliners, the 175,000 Rand Fairview 1400 and the 150,000 Rand Milkwood Stakes listed. The first race is a maiden juvenile plate for fillies over 1,200 metres. Big and 8 race card. It is the first leg of the bipod, and being at Fairview on the line as always, Grant Paddock. Grant, morning, how are you doing?
Morning, Graham. Morning, punters. Yeah, all good this side. We've had a bit of rain the last 2 days. The course will be greasy. There's no doubt about it. So I think there is a bias down there. Well, there is a bias down that Fairview straight. Low numbers are definitely preferential. So punters need to have a look at that as well.
Well, talking about low numbers, number 1, Danish Dynamite, the deep odds-on favourite for the opener, is not drawn down the inside, drawn on the extreme stand side. But that being said, it's a 9-horse field. The market rival is number 6, Sylvan Mistress at 28 to 10, 2 Tarling Buds of May at 17 to 2, 5 Red Lasser at 17 to 2. And the favourite number 1, Danish Dynamite, as I said, deep in the red at 13 to 20. Danish Dynamite, bipod banker, despite the draw?
Yeah, small field. I'm not too concerned of that outside draw. Very, very smart filly. I really think she's a lovely horse. Nice, big, strong filly. Galloping type. She wasn't green on debut, I must be honest with you. And I think she was beaten by a very decent sort of Mr. Moore's sports fan. And if she's just come on a little bit on that run, she'll be a very, very hard filly to beat. The dangers here, obviously, Sylvan Mistress has got the form, but she couldn't beat a lot weaker than this in her previous starts. And she's actually been a bit disappointing when favourite on numerous occasions. And then the filly from the Kelly Mitchley yard, Red Lasher, she's improved a hell of a lot since her first run and come on very nicely from that. She'll be, I think, the biggest danger to Danish Dynamite. And then focal point number 3 for back ends of quartets with number 9, Zoom Z, Graham, and I'm tipping it 1, 5, 6 and 3.
1, 5, 6 and 3, but number 1, Danish Dynamite, a confident first choice and a suggested bipod banker. Grant, before we go any further, just to digress a moment, Craig Zaki, of course, was injured last Friday at Fairview. He's been in and out of the saddle through the week. He's obviously suffering from a lot of discomfort. He rode a couple at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth yesterday, being Wednesday. Everybody knows we record the show on the Thursday morning. Any word on the ground? Because obviously that Jockeys Championship is heating up and adds a lot of interest to whatever goes on at Fairview. And Craig Zaki obviously carded to ride number 1, Danish Dynamite. Any word that about his arrangements for this Friday meeting?
No, nothing at the moment, Graham. I think they'll probably have a look at it. Yeah, he unfortunately got kicked in the parade ring last week, and he's very fortunate for having that body protector on. I must tell you, it did save him, but it's a painful area, and hope he gets well soon. As you say, the Jockey Championship heating up, and we need him in the saddle to keep the heat on the others. So nothing, no talk on the ground, but we'll just have to look at the car changes and going towards tomorrow morning.
Well, I sincerely hope he is in the saddle and gets back on the winning trail. And, of course, he has a bright opportunity of doing that on number 1, Danish Dynamite, in the opener, should he, in fact, fulfill his engagements. Race 2, we have another very deep odds-on favourite. This is a maiden plate fillies and there's 1,200 metres. It is the opening leg of the place accumulator, off at 1 o'clock. Scratch number 2, Clever Candy. That's the only card change at the time of recording. Number 1, Wild Applause, is that odds-on favourite at 6 to 10. Number 3, Midnight Music at 9 to 1. Number 5, Dancing in Winter at 7 to 1. The second choice in the market is again a Craig Zaki carded ride. Number 11, Star of Alina. Good second behind La Vida Locha last time out. But Wild Applause does look the one they all have to beat, Grant.
Yeah, 100%, Graham. You know, this is probably playing for the float to come down. There's no doubt. It's got solid form. The horse, Sweet Conifer, ran behind her last time out, and that came out and won a very, very good race last time out. She'll be unbelievably difficult to beat. Banker in the place accumulator, no doubt. The rest of them are racing for the minor stakes. Star of Alina, very nice filly, but she's definitely going to be better over a touch further than this. She should be running on for places. Midnight Music and Dancing Winter, the other two, to fill up trifectas and quartets, but very hard to oppose Wild Applause. And I'm best bets on the card, my nap for the day, and I'm tipping at 1, 5, 11, 3, Graham.
1, 5, 11, 3, race 2, opening leg of the place accumulator, but bank at the favourite Wild Applause. Race 3, first leg of the pick 6, maiden plate, 1,200 metres, goes at 13.35. A couple of card changes. Number 7, Global Drumbeat, gets the tongue tie. Number 11, Incendiary, the cheek pieces come off, the blinkers go on. And number 14, Royal Kingdom, the firm favourite, will race without the compression mask. So number 14, Royal Kingdom, the mount of Kelvin Abib for Kelly Meechley, that's at 15-10. The second choice in the market is number 9, Elusive Black, at 28-10 against Zaki and Smith. Number 1, Green Ochre, for the Fourie-Greef combination. That's the third choice at 4-1. The rest are in double figures. Kelly Meechley, confident that Royal Kingdom, after 2 very good placed efforts, will shed its maiden ticket?
Yeah, 100%, Graham. Very, very nice horses. I have looked at him since he's been gelded. He really needed to be gelded. A very heavy horse. He's lightened up nicely. His work is absolutely top class. He's drawn one spot-on draw, inside draw. I think he'll be very, very hard to beat. He's a horse that's looking for a touch further, 1,400 mile as a 3-year-old, but he can definitely get away with this 1,200, and he's ready for this. He won't be needing it. A lot of talk on the ground for number 9, Elusive Black, from the Gavin Smith yard. He's coming back from a gelding and a long break of over 200 days, but there's a lot of talk at Fairview for this horse, and punters need to take a close look. And then obviously the Cape Town maiden, Green Ochre, racing off a 68 in Port Elizabeth. She's got to be a runner as well with Richard Fourie and Alan Greef. The rest of them are are quartet kind of horses. Horse like number 12, Star Trooper, but confident with a 14, a good banker in the place accumulator, and I'm tipping it 14, 9, 1 and 12.
Yeah, Grant, certainly 9, Elusive Black, is an interesting runner. Hasn't raced in September, October, but those first 2 runs in the Western Cape were pretty decent. 2 lengths behind Let It Be Said, and a distant fourth behind Aristotle. A little surprised that the campaign in the Western Cape hasn't continued, but certainly keep an eye out to number 9, Elusive Black. But 14, Royal Kingdom, is the confident first choice. So punters appear to be having things all their own way over the first 3 races, but race 4, of course, is a low-grade fillies and mares 64 handicap over 1,200 metres, and things could turn out a little differently here. They bet 7-2 the field, 3 smashing and 4 hugs and high fives, both raced by the Hollywood team, are at 7-2, one in the Alan Greef stable, the other in the Gavin Smith stable. Although they're betting wide, there's only one other runner in single figures, number 8, Swiss Paradise, at 5-1, double figures and better the balance. So tricky start to jackpot 1, Grant.
Yes, 100%. It's not easy, this race. Fillies and Mares, bottom division. Coming back to Swiss Paradise, won a very nice race last time. That wasn't too long ago. Did get a 4-point penalty. So we got to just have a look if she can handle that 4-point penalty. I think the Hollywood racing guys have got this race in the bag with the 3 and the 4 smashing and hugs and high fives. One from the Greef yard, the other one from the from the Smith yard. They both got solid form. They both got good winning chances. They'll probably run 1-2. The dangers to them: Pomodoro Magic back on the grass for Duncan McKenzie. Got to be a runner. Kachedi riding, and he's riding unbelievably well down here in Port Elizabeth. He really is. She didn't like the poly last time out. Back on her favourite surface and distance. She's got to be a big run at the Pomodoro Magic. Good value at 10-1. And the stable companion, Free World, another one holding solid form. Drawn on the right side. Sandile Kati up. Unfortunately, a bit of a weight with 61. But she's going to be a big runner as well. Tricky kind of a race, Graham. I'm tipping it 9, 1, 3, and 3, 4, 6, and 1, and the 8 needs to be added in the pick 6. 3, 4, 6, 1, and add the 8 in the pick 6.
So there we go, a typically competitive low-grade fillies and mares 64 handicap, but as Grant points out, the Hollywood racing team have got a strong hand from 2 different stables with 3 smashing and 4 hugs and high fives. The value in the race, as indicated by Grant, could be number 6, Pomodoro Magic. Race 5, which is the first leg of Jackpot 2. It's an MR96 handicap over 1,000 metres. It's a good race, this one. Number 9, Speed Racer, the favourite at even money, without a win for 388 days. The second choice in the market, number 3, Cliff Top, at 28-10, is without a win for 595 days. And the third choice in the market is number 1, Anushka's World, at 9-2. Those are the principles as far as the market is concerned. The rest are in double figures. Speed Racer, good second behind Mercantile last time. Mercantile also competes a little later on in this program, but he was solidly beaten, Grant.
Yeah, he was. Mercantile's a top horse. He's going to go right through. Well, he's at the top. He's going to win quite a few races in Porter. Very good first run here. Obviously, the second run you got to be a little bit cautious of, but a very good introduction on the poly. He's back on the grass now, and I think he's got a definite winning chance. There's no doubt. The number one horse, Anushka's World, he's got the weight off the back with Nervin Stilly, and he's riding super well at the moment. He's run to a lot stronger than this field. Honestly, Fairy Night, King Dundee, he's run them to a length and a half, and on that alone, he's going to have to be a big runner in this race. Cliff Top, they've gone back to his old running style of just letting him rip along, and I don't know if that's going to suit him in a wet 1,000, but he's definitely a trifecta quartet kind of a horse. I think the race is between the 1 and the 9, and I'm going to go for the 1, Anushka's World, to beat the 9, the 3, and the 6.
So there we go. That's a highly competitive and interesting MR96 handicap over 1,000 metres. Just interesting to note that Cliff Top, despite the fact that he's had 32 lifetime starts over this Fairview 5, he's only had 3 starts for a win and 2 seconds. So perhaps, as Grant mentioned, those rip-along tactics might pay dividends. Now the first of our 2 features, race 6, the first leg of the final pick 3. It's a Fairview 1,400 over 1,400 metres. Justin Snaith in town with number 3, Silver Falcon, who's at 5-1, but the firm favourite, and Grant referenced the horse a moment ago, number 1, Mercantor, that's at 7-10. 3, Silver Falcon at 5-1, 5, Gimme's Laddie at 9-2, any price about the balance. So you were waxing lyrical, Grant, about number 1, Mercantor. Is he set to follow up?
Yeah, 100%, Graham. I think it's a very, very good horse. He reminds me a lot of a horse called Grazing in the Grass at Allen won, I think, 10 or 12 races with. I think he's that kind of a racehorse. The way he switches off early and finishes his races off is really, really impressive. He's no stranger to carrying heavy weights. He's got this field absolutely stone cold. Silver Falcon, he's got Cape Town form. I don't know if it's strong enough to beat the horse like Mercantor, but he'll be the biggest danger, there's no doubt. And the rest of them, Bush Trackers, are very, very honest horse, probably, second, third position for Bush Tracker, and the rest of them are really chasing that quartet position. Very strong on the 1, the banker, and I'm tipping at 1, 3, 4, and 9.
1, 3, 4, and 9 for Grant in the Fairview 1,400. Now, I've obviously had a sneak preview at Grant's suggested place accumulator, which we'll get to a bit later on. And as we've worked through the card, we can see that clearly we're expecting very favourable results up to and including race 6, but things get a lot trickier. Races 7 and 8, in fact, he closes off his place accumulator with 5 horses and 4 horses, so that tells a whole story. The penultimate is the 150,000 Rand Milkwood Stakes, listed over 1,000 metres. And I'm interested here in the market because I would have thought, Grant, that number 7, Trip to Maputo, would be a fairly short-priced favourite in a field like this. But they're betting 9-2 the field, with number 1, 3 Rocks, and 4 Gimme's Lassie at 9-2. 2 Go Check with Love at 7-1. 12 Happy Hollies, in fact, the selection of Trevor Reed, that's at 8-1. And Trip to Maputo, I thought, quite generously priced at 5-1, but maybe I'm guilty of underestimating your local talent, Grant.
No, definitely not underestimating. My first choice as well. These Cape Town fillies, she's come with in-season Cape Town form, and she's won 2 of her last 3. She was here in PE a while back, but unfortunately they moved the meeting to the poly and she never took to it. So back up the straight, it's going to be holding, it's going to be wet. Those Cape Town horses love those kind of conditions, and you have to respect them. Good jockey on in Louis Mkotwa from the drawn on the right side of the course. It's got to be a massive runner. Very, very tricky race this, Graham. Punters need to go as wide as they can afford. We've gone very light early on, and pick 6, you got to put as many as you can afford. Yeah, honestly, it's really, really difficult race. Kyalami Girl, another one from the Candice Bass Robertson yard, fair Cape form, probably looking for a bit of black type. From the Alan Creer bunch, Ellerix. I think Ellerix is the better one of his lot. I know Richard always rides to 3 Rocks, but she's been very disappointing of late, but she's there and thereabouts, not quite rounding her races off. And Go Check with Love, since she's got a merit rating hike, she's battled to put it together again. But Trip to Maputo for me, Graham, I'm tipping it 7, 5, 2 and 4, but punters really need to go as wide as possible.
So there we go, competitive renewal of the Milkwood Stakes. And of course the one chink in Trip to Maputo's armour might be the fact that these days she'll find 5 furlongs a little on the sharp side. She's certainly better over 12, but the going is expected to be a little on the soft side. 16:30. That's the off time for race 8. Fillies a mare 72 handicap, 1600 metres, the final on the programme. And here's how they are betting. Number 3, Treasure Hunt at 7-1. Number 4, Could It Be, that gets no blinkers or gets the blinkers removed. So no blinkers on number 4, Could It Be. Seems to be a bit of a money around for number 5, Valare e Mambo, that was at 11-2 at one stage, now into 9-2. Number 6, Got the Fever at 8-1. The 2 joint favourites are 9 In the Green Zone at 3-1 and 11 Courageous at 3-1. Another trappy race, Grant. Tricky end to the day's racing. It should be a good day's racing.
Yeah, Cramnison, they've got the betting completely wrong here. You know, with the 9 and the 11, they come out of the same form line. It's a super weak field that you couldn't get weaker than that in Port Elizabeth. And In the Green Zone took a penalty for winning as well. I think 3-1 on those two. That's completely wrong. The horses that have been running against the far strongest horses, this was Sun Spectacular at the top of the weights, number 1, with the claiming 4 on to get her down to 59. And then it brings her right into the race because there's a very small spread of weights here from a top weight of 62.5 down to 58. So she's run against far stronger. She's much better on the grass, and she's a massive runner. I think she'll actually take quite a bit of beating. At 10-1 is very good value. Number 3, Treasure Hunt, same kind of story, running against far stronger than that. A good last run, and she can only improve as well. Definite first 3 position. Valere Mambo, the talking horse, comes out of the same form lines as Sun Spectacular. I heard there's a lot of talk on the ground for this horse. Unfortunately, drawn out at 11, but she does come from off the pace. I just don't know if you're going to make up that kind of ground on a wet track. Could It Be is a quartet kind of a horse, and so too those bottom 2 that I mentioned, In the Green Zone and Courageous, but I'll be surprised if one of those 2 win the race. Nice race to finish the day, Graham, and a nice quartet kind of a race where you could rove banker the 1 and the 5 and take a couple of horses around it. They're both decent prices, and I'm tipping at 1, 3, 4, 9, and in the pick 6 you need to add the 5.
1, 3, 4, 9, add the 5 in the pick 6, but Grant is going 4 runners in the final leg of the place accumulator, as we'll see in a moment. Sun Spectacular offering some real good each way value in the final race. So talking about the place accumulator as well as your best bet and your value bet coming on screen now, Grant, take it away.
Thank you very much, Graham. Best bet, race 2, number 1, Wild Applause. My value bet, race 8, number 1, Sun Spectacular. And the suggested bets, the place accumulator goes as follows. We open up with Banker 1, by Banker 14, by 3, 4, and 6, by 1 and 9, by Banker 1, by 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, by 1, 3, 4, 9, for 120 Rand full unit.
Thanks, Grant. Thanks for your suggested place accumulator best bet and value bet. Ciao for now, and have a wonderful day's racing.